Hello, my name is Josh Crutcher, and I want to tell you about the time I was a pho chef in Hanoi, Vietnam. Last year around this time, I decided my New Year's resolution would be to solo travel for the first time ever. So, I wanted to go big by choosing Hanoi and Sapa in Vietnam. Flash forward to the summer of last year, and I got all the resources and materials I needed for my trip, as well as my best friend Tin, being from Vietnam, and helped me a lot with my itinerary and housing. June of last year, I hopped on my plane, and during my flight, I wrote my bucket list of everything I wanted to achieve of my month in Hanoi. This was consisted of exploring Buddhist temples, training martial arts, experiencing the nature, and working in a restaurant. I was very inspired by Anthony Bourdain's approach to experiencing culture firsthand, so I decided I might as well try it myself. 2 days after being in Vietnam, we explored the Buddhist temples, historical structures, and a lot of the things that makes you understand the history of Vietnam. So I felt like I was ready, and I told Tin, I think it's time I complete this goal. So we hopped on the moped and we drove around the block to our friend Phan's family-owned pho restaurant. When I walked to the restaurant, I got a lot of stares, but none of them were malicious. It's all curious, like who's this black guy with cool hair walking into our restaurant? So I was happy. I sat down, and Phan's mom walked up to us and started to greet us to take our orders. As she was talking, I whispered in Tin's ear, "Can you ask her the question?" He looked back, he said, "Okay." So he asked Phan's mom in Vietnamese, "Can this boy work in your restaurant?" And she looked at me and looked back at him. She was like, "Why does he want to work here? What's the purpose?" And Tin told her it's just his goal of his. And she looked at me and she stared at me up and down for about 3 seconds, and she said, "Okay, come on." As I was walking to the restaurant, I was thinking, my goal is really just to clean dishes or sweep around, just say I worked in the restaurant. I don't really have to cook. But as I followed her, she led me to the kitchen and she said, "This is where you're going to work." So with Tin as my translator, I put on my gloves and I prepared pho. From the noodles to mixing the broth with the ladle to adding the MSG to the meat and the greens. I made about 3 bowls before I made a bowl for myself. And it was just so fun being in that environment because we couldn't understand each other, but she understood my respect and my passion, my curiosity just to learn her culture. And just like me, she wanted to learn from me also. She wanted to see how I was able to manage to make pho without knowing Vietnamese. And this really taught me that respect and passion, curiosity, and just love for learning transcends all languages. Just being in that environment with her and also the other customers watching me make pho bowls just made me feel so comfortable and excited for the future of what my life holds as I keep this curiosity. Yeah, but my first bowl of pho was a bowl that I made myself, and I was just so happy. It was a blessing to be there. Thank you.